We're going 0 to 60 with Make Mine Music and Melody Time. So let's get cracking! Hello all my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. And if you are new, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, box swaps, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. So if that sounds fun to you, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell for notification, and do like this post. It really helps your favorite content creators know that you appreciate them, and we in turn appreciate that. So we are continuing our segment 0 to 60, where we look at the films of the Walt Disney Animation Studios. And we are going from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Encanto. We are now in the early mid 40s. I am doing this a little bit differently this week. We have Make Mine Music and Melody Time, which were two package films that revolve around music. In between, we have Fun and Fancy Free. I'm putting Make Mine Music and Melody Time together because they're so similar, and then next week we will do Fun and Fancy Free. So without further ado, let's get into the discussion. So Make Mine Music and Melody Time were both package films, and they were made in the 40s just basically because Walt's staff were all going to war, and they had a lot of projects up in the air, so this allowed the staff to experiment while waiting to go back into full production. In the spirit of Fantasia, these films focused on bringing music to life. Sometimes it would be abstract, and sometimes it would be a full narrative. Either way, I love both of these films. I know that not a lot of people know about these films or watch these films or think that they were just films to gloss over, but they are great films. Sadly, only Melody Time is available on Disney Plus. Make My Music is only available on DVD. It's not even available through digital, so it's very sad that way. So anyway, we'll start off with Make Mine Music. Now, it was a film in 10 segments, and the first one was the Martins and Coys, and it told the story through the Kingsmen, which was a popular music group during the day. Basically a musical ballad of the Hatfields and the McCoys, which were two young people in love from feuding families. Then we had Blue Bayou, which was originally developed for Fantasia, and it is told to Claude Debussy's Clair de Lune, and follows two egrets in the bayou. Then the next segment is All the Cats Join In. This is one of my favorites. And this is Benny Goodman's song. Benny Goodman and his orchestra were very popular during the time. And it follows a bunch of bachelors and bobby sockers as they go to the ice cream shop. Then there is Without You, which is an experimental piece sung by Andy Russell, and then there's Casey at Bat, sung by Jerry Colonna, who is the March Hare from Alice in Wonderland, and it was based on the poem by Ernest Thayer. The piece is about a baseball player who lets things go to his head. Then we have Two Silhouettes, which is sung by Dinah Shore, who was a big star back then, and she was a famous talk show host as well when I was growing up in the 70s. It featured the rotoscope likenesses of famed Russian-American ballet dancers David Lashine, and I'm going to totally mess this one up, Tanya Ryabushinskaya. And then next up, and this is probably the most famous part of Make My Music, it is Peter and the Wolf. And this is a Sergei Prokofiev piece. And this is about Peter and his animal friends that go to hunt a wolf in the forest. Then after that, we have a more experimental piece by Benny Goodman and his quartet. And that is After You've Gone, another one that I really love. And Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet, sung by the Andrews Sisters. Again, another very popular group. I think a lot of people have heard of the Andrews Sisters. And it is about a fedora that goes in search of his bluebonnet sweetheart. And then the final segment of this is The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met. And it is featuring Eddie Nelson, who was a famous crooner. The piece revolved around a whale who dreamed about singing at the opera. Make My Music is actually one of my favorite Disney films. I can watch it all the time, and I really, really wish that it were on digital, because getting out the DVD is so difficult for me. Remember those days when we used to, get out the DVDs, and now it's such a pain to do it. So anyway, I still love it so much. My favorite ones are the Benny Goodman pieces, All the Cats Join In, and After You've Gone. I love his music. I love Benny Goodman, and just seeing the animation to his music is so fun to me. On the more narrative side, my favorite is Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet. I just think that is such a sweet little film. So anyway, those are my favorites from Make My Music. Now, Melody Time is very similar to Make My Music, in which it is divided into segments. Although Melody Time tends to be a little bit more narrative in its storytelling. There are some experimental pieces, but let's go over the segments. So the first one is Once Upon a Winter Time, which is to the vocals of Frances Langford. And she is about a young couple enjoying a winter day. Then we have Bumble Boogie, which is an experimental piece featuring a bee to the music of Freddie Martin and his orchestra, and it is a version of Rimsky-Korsakov's Flight of the Bumblebee. Next is The Legend of Johnny Appleseed, and this is sung by Dennis Day, and is told to the story of folk hero John Chapman as he planted apple trees all throughout the country and providing nourishment to many of the pioneers. Then we have Little Toot, which is a story by Hardy Gramke, and it is about a small tugboat who wishes to be big, and it is sung by the Andrews Sisters. Next up we have Trees. This is a more experimental one, and it is a beautiful, actually it's a very beautiful piece. It is based on a poem by Joyce Kilmer, and it's told to the music of Fred Waring and his Pennsylvanians. Next is Blame It on the Samba, which features Jose Carioca and the Araquan Bird from Three Caballeros. And finally, we have Pecos Bill. We have Roy Rogers, Bob Nolan, and the Sons of the Pioneer singing the story of folk hero Pecos Bill to a young Bobby Driscoll and Luana Patton, who were big stars, Disney stars, during that day. And many of you might remember that Bobby Driscoll is the voice of Peter Pan. I think Melody Time is as equally delightful as Make Mine Music. My favorites are the ones about the two folk heroes, The Legend of Johnny Appleseed and Pecos Bill. The Legend of Johnny Appleseed. If you are a fan of Mary Blair, you need to watch that, because there are pieces in there that are straight out of a Mary Blair painting. And Pecos Bill is just fun and raucous, and the music of Roy Rogers and Sons of the Pioneers are just great. I also find Trees, which was a more experimental piece, hauntingly beautiful. I just have a connection to trees in general, so that might be it. While these two films are often forgotten, I really do love to dust off these films periodically and watch them. There is just, I think, some great music, some great storytelling. One has to appreciate that the artists that Walt got during that time period are as big as like Ariana Grande or Harry Styles are today. They were big stars, and so it was like watching MTV almost at that time. I enjoy these films even more than Fantasia, just because I relate to the music a little bit more. Anyway, to me, you will see some of the finest animation that you will see from Walt Disney Animation Studios, and it is just really a wonderful window into that time period. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this look at Make My Music and Melody Time. Again, next week we will be looking at Fun and Fancy Free. And so with that, if you had fun, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post. It really helps us out. Visit us on all of our socials down below. Visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you later. Bye!